The Houston Rockets jump up to a 16-1 lead in their home court, but then Washington comes back as this rookie from North Carolina, Mitch Kupchak, has a sensational game. 32 points, and Washington wins it 111-101 to take a 1-0 lead. Then in game 2, the spectacular young Moses Malone has the big game for Houston. Here he is stealing the ball at 6'11". He takes it down the floor and slams down 2 of his 31 points. He had 26 rebounds as Houston even the series at a victory apiece. Now it's game 3.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the totally new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it. Goodyear, makers of the American Eagle Radial, a new kind of tire built especially for the American road. And by Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent.
Landover, Maryland. The crowd is sky high as it's game 3 of the Washington-Houston series. All even up at a victory apiece. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Crickey, and we're delighted at CBS to have joining us for the playoffs the Pistol, the NBA scoring leader again this season from the New Orleans Jazz, Pistol Pete Maravich. Pete, it's great to have you.
Thank you very much, Don. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, the Houston Rockets had some trouble on their home court. Washington did their job very well. They've taken the home court advantage back.
That's exactly right. Washington gained the home court advantage, and with that advantage, they also gained the psychological advantage over Houston. On the other hand, Houston has to win one of the next 2 games, preferably the one today. This way, they'll have a little more relaxed feeling when they play in this next game.
Is there any particular matchups you look on as being the keys to a possible outcome there?
Well, there are 2 possible key matchups, I believe, Don. Number 1 would be the matchup between Hayes and Jones. In the first game, Jones seemed to do the job on Elvin, but Elvin is also smarting from a little hip pointer, but I do believe he'll be at full throttle for this afternoon's game. The other matchup would be Wes Unseld against Moses Malone. Wes has got to keep Moses off the backboard because he went for 26 rebounds in the second game, 15 of offense.
There's another big game today. That's at Boston Garden. Philadelphia and Boston in game 3. We'll be switching back and forth to that game to give you live updated coverage. And right now, the starting lineups are on the floor for game 3 here at Landover, Maryland. The Houston Rockets are in the red uniforms. Moses Malone will jump center against Elvin Hayes. Hayes goes up to take the tap if he can. Wesley Unseld, of course, is the pivot man for the Washington Bullets. Grevey up front. Chenier and Henderson in the backcourt for Washington. The tap is controlled by the Houston Rockets. John Lucas, an All-American at Maryland a season ago. Nearby College Park, Maryland. Working in the backcourt with the ball. Alvin Murphy, his running mate. Here is Tomjanovich coming out high as Malone and Dwight Jones are down low for Houston. Alvin Murphy against Chenier. Rebounding has been the key to this series, has been the key to their play against each other all year long. Alvin Murphy loses Chenier with a fake.
That was just real good defense on the part of Washington. As you notice, Houston has come out and is playing a very disciplined game. This is what they have to do. They have to go inside to the big men.
Now here's Kevin Grevey. Grevey knocks one down. And so Washington puts the first points of the game up. It's 2-0 Bullets. Moses Malone coming out high. He had 15 offensive rebounds, as you mentioned, Pete, in that game, too. That's a career for some people.
That is also a season for some people, Don.
Toughest commodity in the game, the offensive rebound. Moses Malone never played college basketball. Came right out of Petersburg, Virginia High School to the pros, to the ABA. And his coach, Tom Naselke, says he's only about 60% of where he's going to be in a couple of years.
I was talking to Tom Naselke before the game. He said they're going to try to get Rudy off early in the game and try to get him to score a few baskets to get his confidence.
Now, Grevey is fighting to get the shot away. Another long jump shot. And Washington has a 4-2 advantage. 4 points for Kevin Grevey. Pete?
This is one of the things that Coach Mata wanted. He wanted Grevey. Grevey hadn't played too well, and they expect him to score more points, and he's done well at the beginning.
Alvin Murphy gets inside, cannot get it to go. The tap is disallowed as official Roger McCann blows the whistle.
There's exactly what I was talking to before the game, Don. Here's the replay. As you see, Murphy goes up for the jump shot, but what happens is Moses is so quick at getting his defensive position for the offensive rebound, and he got it, and it was a foul on West.
And Houston has the ball. Washington is in the lead 4-2. Dwight Jones takes a look. John Lucas, the playmaking backcourt player, the number 1 draft choice in the NBA, gets to the basket as you see, cannot get it to go, but there, getting the offensive rebound is Moses Malone. The call goes against Houston.
There again, Malone is really, here's a replay. Malone goes back up, gets another offensive rebound, and it looked like he was kind of fouled on that play.
Running the ball down. Back to live action. Kevin Grevey hits another jump shot for the Washington Bullets. He has all 6 of their points as they've moved out to a 6-2 lead. Their offense is getting the ball out to Grevey. They're looking for the tough defense against Elvin Hayes, so Grevey's going to take that open shot from the outside.
He's going to take that open shot anytime, and he is what you call basically a pure shooter, and right now he's got all their points.
And fouled on the play, he now has 7 points as Grevey converts the 3-point play for Washington. 7-2, we have 10 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Dwight Jones, who's done a big job against Elvin Hayes, moves into a high post position. Houston running a lot of plays, jamming up the middle and working people off it as John Lucas heads to the basket. A 3-second violation is signaled against the Rockets. They had too many people in the lane as they're trying to set those picks.
What Houston's going to do is they're going to have to do a little bit more pattern basketball. They have to have a little more discipline when they come down so they can get a good shot at the basket, a good percentage shot.
Here is Phil Chenier trying to go baseline, but Moses Malone, very quick at 6'11", shuts him off. And the rebound comes inbound to the Houston Rockets. Last touch apparently by Elvin Hayes. John Lucas, very, very polished rookie. He runs the offense most of the time. Calvin Murphy will run the break a great deal, but Murphy will play away from the ball in the offensive pattern plays. Here's a whistle underneath. Pete.
Now that right there, as I said before at the opening tap, this is going to be all this is a very physical game. This is a very physical game underneath.
Look at Moses Malone get the ball inside. Arc it up.
West wasn't even ready for that particular play, and Moses got the basket.
Jumped right over Unseld. 7-4 ball game. Now back the other way. Henderson takes it down the floor. And the whistle blows. Foul on Calvin Murphy.
One thing you can be sure of, Don, this is going to be a very physical contest from the beginning to the end.
First foul on Murphy, the second team foul of the quarter against the Houston Rockets. Wesley Unseld working inside. Third attempt for the Washington Bullets. Hayes missed the first, and Unseld got the second of his 2 follow-up tries. 9-4 game. Washington with a 5-point lead. Dwight Jones coming out high. Boy, a lot of motion in that Houston offense. The guards are coming low. Moses Malone working low. They're going to try to post him low against Wesley Unseld. Tipped out to Dwight Jones, but Henderson takes it. He had a great game in Game 3 against Cleveland to put the Cavaliers out of the playoffs. Grevey can't get it to work, but Chenier takes the offensive board. Phil Chenier with that great ability to get straight out there. Jumps over Lucas and drives it down to make it 11-4.
Right now, Don, Washington is setting the tempo of this game. They're getting offensive rebounding. And I think they're going to call a timeout. Houston, they do.
Tom Nissalke and his Houston Rockets want to discuss this now as the Bullets have jumped out to a 7-point lead with 8:20 to play in the first quarter. With 8:20 to play in the first quarter here at Landover, Maryland, the Washington Bullets have an 11-4 lead over the Houston Rockets. Houston in the red uniforms with the ball. John Lucas looking to penetrate. Lots of motion on the weak side, the side away from the ball, and Tomjanovich forces a long shot, but he can knock it in.
He can shoot from anywhere on the floor, Don, and he's shot for over 50% for his lifetime.
Tomjanovich has not been as productive in the recent games as he has throughout the regular season, but he's the kind of a guy that can come up and hit you 7-8 shots in a row. Grevey's a pure shooter, as you pointed out. Grevey has now hit down another one. He scored 9 points, 4 field goals and 5 tries. It is 13-6 again. Washington with the 7-point lead. Dwight Jones coming out high to Tomjanovich. Unseld is fronting. Moses Malone down low. Malone fights for the rebound. Dwight Jones gets it. Rejected by Elvin Hayes. Outlet pass to Henderson. Here comes Washington on the run. Tom Henderson guns it to Elvin Hayes. The shot is blocked by Dwight Jones, but so was Elvin Hayes, a foul on the play. Now let's find out what's going on at Boston as we switch to Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham for an update on the 76ers and the Celtics.
You have been watching Washington and Houston here in the Boston Garden. We've got 7:54 left in the first quarter. McGinnis hit that free throw, and so Philadelphia goes up 10-9. Dave Cowens has scored 7 points already for the Celtics. They have possession right now. So all of you are up to date. It has been a furious pace here early. Foul is called by Jackson as Scott came in down the baseline. And it's against Julius Erving. His first of the game, and Billy, we should point out to the audience that has just joined us that both coaches are up on these two young referees.
Right, they're trying to intimidate the officials if at all possible, but we've seen these officials in the last game in Philadelphia last Sunday where they tried this, but the officials kept control of the game and showed who was boss.
Now keep another thing in mind. Philadelphia leads in this series 2-1, and they have opened up big leads in the first quarter of all 3 games, but not here today. We are tied at 10 right now. 7:36 to go. Big doubleheader afternoon on CBS. You'll be going out west for action from both of those games later. Erving up on using the glass that spun out and loose ball against Scott. His second.
That was a good call by the
Look
official.
at Heinsohn.
All Charlie did was just push Henry Bibby, and it was a senseless foul on Charlie's part.
Rich Jackson, the referee. Now, Gene Shue at this point has to be happy because he did not feel he would get the best of it at the free throw line in this game. And he has at least stayed equal, and I would say, Billy, he's had a little of the best of the whistling so far.
So far for the 76ers, no question about that.
Henry Bibby, who has not yet missed a free throw in this playoff series. We're in the 4th game, 10 of 10. He has played a calm, cool, collected series. The kind of basketball John Wooden taught him at UCLA. Havlicek now on the right side. JoJo White. Now he hasn't shot well the last 2 games.
No, JoJo, Henry Bibby has done an outstanding job against him. He's been 14 for 41 at the field. But JoJo was out before the game. He must have shot for half an hour, 45 minutes.
At least. Deadlocked at 12, and Collins is short. But there's Bibby. Off to McGinnis. McGinnis muscles in and lays one up. For McGinnis now, he's scored 8 points. So McGinnis and Cowens have been the hot shooters here in the first quarter. White penetrated and dished to Cowens.
That's what they weren't doing earlier in the last 2 games. They were penetrating and continuing to the basket. Colwell Jones is blocking the shots. Now Cowens is flaring out and getting the shots.
6:30 to go, tied at 14.
Back here at Landover, Maryland, the Washington Bullets have gotten their running game going, and they have moved out to a 22-8 lead with 5:18 left to play in the first quarter. Houston has just called timeout for a little counsel. The Washington Bullets have come up with 8 straight points unanswered, as you see, and it is now a 22-8 game. This is Don Crickey with Pistol Pete Maravich, the NBA scoring champion, joining CBS for the playoffs. And what do they have to do now, the Houston Rockets, Pete, to get back in this?
Well, right now the officials are letting a lot go underneath the basket. This is hurting a guy like Moses Malone's game because he's getting good position underneath. But the strength of Wes Unseld is just too much for Moses. He has to rely on his quickness. And on the other hand, Washington with Hayes and Unseld have done a tremendous job of getting the ball out and running.
They're really moving the ball. That was John Lucas who got the last field goal for Houston. Now Dwight Jones comes up with the ball. It's a 22-10 game. Washington with a 12-point lead. Lucas directing the offense. Jones is coming out high. They want to get Elvin Hayes away from that basket if they can. Let Moses Malone work alone against Unseld down low. Now Lucas fires down another with the left hand.
Washington has taken away their inside game from them. For Houston to get back in this game, they have to get the ball inside to Tomjanovich, to Jones, and to Moses Malone.
2 Houston grabs. Dwight Jones and Elvin Hayes fighting each other inside. Here's Calvin Murphy. He just runs away from everybody. The quickest player, if not the quickest, certainly one of the 2 or 3 in the league, Calvin Murphy. Puts up his 3rd and 4th points on the breakaway. It is now 22-14, and Houston's coming back quickly with 6 straight points. Chenier fires it up. In and out. Malone tips it away. Here's a foul. It'll go against Washington. Malone's taking a lot of shoving. No question.
Again, it's very... There it is. Here's the offensive. Hayes kind of rode him on the basket, and they called the foul.
Elvin Hayes gets his second personal foul. We had 3 team fouls against the Rockets in the first quarter, 4 against Washington. We had 3:50 to play in it.
It's very difficult for a team, Don, to blow another team out in the first quarter. And what has happened is they are trying to blow Houston out, and they're forgetting what to do when they come back down the court. That's why Houston's been able to come back so quickly.
Well, it's knocked away from Moses Malone by Wesley Unseld, so Houston will put the ball in play. John Lucas, Calvin Murphy, Dwight Jones, Moses Malone, and Rudy Tomjanovich in the game for Houston. The same 5 that started it. And Washington not gone to the bench yet either. Inbounds to Calvin Murphy. Lightning fast. John Lucas puts a move on Henderson. Great play by Lucas. Coming off with a left-hand bank shot. It's 22-16, and Houston has started to cook.
Exactly what I said. They're sticking with what they came out here to do, and that was a great penetration by Lucas. Now they're cleaning the basket. They're getting all the rebounds, and they're going to set their pattern offense up.
And now Houston brings it right back down as Tom Maselke's on his feet, calling the play out. John Lucas feeds off to Calvin Murphy. Calvin Murphy saves Phil Chenier from taking a dive right in his head. He drew the foul. Calvin Murphy's one strong little hombre.
He's a very strong... Here's the play. Actually, it was very good on Calvin's part because he saved a serious injury for Phil Chenier by holding up on there. As you saw, he was coming down right on his shoulder, and I had a shoulder separation last year, and they do smart.
There's Coach Tom Maselke, voted NBA Coach of the Year by Basketball Weekly. He's calling the plays. Has come out even higher on that Utah. That's the offensive set they've been using with Tomjanovich coming outside. They really want to get Moses Malone deployed one-on-one with Wesley Unseld because Malone has a tremendous height advantage and a jumping advantage. Then if they can get the ball down low, they figure they can get the percentage shot.
Well, it's finesse and quickness against strength.
10 straight points now for the Houston Rockets as they have come back from a 22-8 deficit to trail by 4. Moses Malone rejected that one. There's a whistle inside.
Here's the play. Grevey goes in. A real good block, but the foul occurred underneath the basket, and I think it was on Dwight Jones.
You got it, Dwight Jones. It certainly wasn't on Malone. That was a perfect reject.
A great reject.
Elvin Hayes, he's having trouble with Dwight Jones. Hayes fires a shot. There's a lot of shoving, and look at John Lucas outrush people to basketball and weave his way. Gosh darn, these guys can play basketball.
That was a fantastic move. He waited until he turned his head. He waited until Henderson turned his head, and then went by him on the opposite side.
That's why John Lucas was the #1 player drafted. If his 2 guards are in Houston, they come at you like gunshots. Phil Chenier moves on Lucas, and Chenier throws up a hope. Moses Malone loses the rebound. Is it saved by Lucas? It is not. Roger McCann, the referee, says he stepped over the line.
I tell you, Don, these referees are going to have to take control of this game because it's getting more physical every minute, and something could come out of this.
12 straight points by the Houston Rockets. Here's a foul on John Lucas. A good call. Referee Milt Cooper saw John Lucas hooking Phil Chenier trying to get the ball.
Well, Chenier just beat him to the basketball. He was a step behind him, and what John did was reach in, and he got called for the foul.
Lucas was All-American at 2 sports at Maryland last year, an All-American tennis player. In addition to an All-American basketball career, Phil Chenier has hit 3 of 6 shots in the field. He has 6 points. And finally, Washington gets a point as Dick Model looks on. He saw his team take 22-8 lead here, and then see it cut to 22-20. They've got 30 up for Houston on the scoreboard, but
I think
that's the right score you see on your screen, 24-20. Washington in the lead. Pete?
Now you'll notice Houston, they're just going to take their time. They're going to build on their offense now that they're back in the game.
John Lucas takes a look. They're putting people in the air with their fakes. Here's Malone jumping over Unseld, and Moses Malone line drives it down. It's 24-22. 4 points for Malone.
I tell you, Don, they're really letting a lot of physical activity go on underneath the basket.
1:54 to go in the first quarter. 2-point game, Washington in the lead as Chenier goes to the basket or tries to on Lucas. Short. Boy, Unseld's just moving people out like a bulldozer.
Like I told you, West is using his strength.
They got him on that one, I think.
And against a guy like Moses doesn't have the strength to counteract that. Here's a replay. Watch Chenier His face goes right, goes up, and fakes again, goes for the jump shot. He thinks he's fouled on the play. Unseld just moves Moses right out of the basket completely, and that's a good call. Good call by the official.
So Malone goes to the free throw line. 6 feet 11 inches tall. He averaged 13.2 points a game during the regular season. A 69% free throw shooter, but you see what he's done in the playoffs, averaging 22 a game. And his rebounding has been astounding. 26 rebounds in the last game for Moses Malone. Inside is Tom Henderson, a quick backcourt player out of the University of Hawaii, puts up his 5th and 6 points. 26-23 Washington. 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Here we are at Landover, Maryland. The Houston Rockets in the red uniform, the Washington Bullets in the white. It has been a game of great contrast. Washington jumped off to a 22-8 lead, and then Houston came back, ran off a string of 12 unanswered points, and now it's a 3-point game, Washington 26-23. Pistol Pete Maravich. We've had some spectacular backcourt play here.
Fantastic, and what is happening, Henderson and Lucas are penetrating to the basket. This is something that is going to have to be stopped because they're getting the fours open for easy jump shots.
The guards have really controlled the flow of play here. Both teams with guards going to the basket. Lucas, the rookie for Washington. Tom Henderson for the Washington Bullets. Now here's John Lucas, the #1 player drafted in the NBA last season, taking it down low. He's been moving inside and out, dancing with the basketball, and then dishing it off to the big men. Moses Malone has 2 men on him now. Kevin Kunert in the game. A 7-foot center goes to Newlin. John Lucas fires up a 20-foot shot. The ball is tipped over to Tom Henderson by Elvin A. It is 26-23 Washington with 32 seconds to go in the first quarter. Moses Malone, no foul called. Looks like Elvin Hayes pushed him, and now it comes back the other way to Washington. Grevey throws it up, and Newlin at 6'5" and real strong grabs the rebound and gets it out to Lucas, and Washington loses possession as Houston comes down with a little more control. Kevin Kunert gets an offensive rebound. He was fouled by Kevin Grevey, who came over the top. 3 seconds to play in the first quarter. Pete?
On that particular play, it looked like a good block to me, but the official called a foul. I think what the officials are trying, here's the play. All that happens is Grevey tries to come over, he goes right, it looked perfect. That was a perfect block, actually, but what the officials are trying to do are keep control of the game, and they're doing it right now.
So big Moses Malone goes back to the free throw line now. He scored 5 points so far, has 2 rebounds. And it's really a question of where they draw the line on contact underneath, because Malone has been the object of a lot of pushing, a lot of blocking, a lot of shoving. They know if they let him use his speed and quickness, he'll beat them to the basketball. He's that quick. At 6'11". Malone now hits 1 of 2 to make it a 26-24 game as we come down the stretch. Here is the final shot. Nope, Elvin Hayes did not get it away in time. And so the first quarter comes to an end. It's a 2-point game as we head into the second 12 minutes of this playoff game. 26-24 Washington. The preceding announcement was presented as a public service message by the National Basketball Association. We have 12 minutes go now in the first half as we're ready to open the second quarter. In the game for the Houston Rockets, Kevin Kunert, Moses Malone, John Johnson is in the game for the first time. Mike Newlin and John Lucas look in the backcourt. Leonard Gray is in the game. He has the ball for Washington. Larry Wright is in the game with Phil Chenier in the backcourt. Elvin Hayes and Mitch Kupchak up front. Leonard Gray guns one up, and here comes Mike Newlin to lead the break. Weaving down the middle, he loses the ball to Phil Chenier. Up court to Larry Wright, a rookie from Grambling. Lead to Kupchak, and he is put right on the deck by John Lucas. Lucas has a lot of control for a rookie, doesn't he?
I'll tell you the truth, Don, it's one of the most physical basketball games I've ever seen. Kupchak just got a kick in the face by Malone as he went by. It was unintentional, of course.
Newlin guns it up and fires one down from outside 20 feet, and that ties the game at 26. Mike Newlin's first hoop of the day.
Mike is a very aggressive player, very rugged player, and if he's given that 15-foot jump shot, he'll kill you.
Leonard Gray, he can foul out of the game in 6 minutes. He did that once this year. He can also break a game open because he's a very, very physical, aggressive player. Things happen when he's in there. Not always good. He can go one way or the other for you. Right back the other way. Getting to be somewhat of a track meet now as both teams turning the ball over before shots periodically throughout the first quarter, now into the first minute of the second quarter. Larry Wright frees himself with a dribble and gets it back.
Larry did that all on his own, Don. He just took the ball, he dribbled around till he got a little bit of daylight, and he put the ball in the hoop.
And Washington again has the 2-point advantage, 28-26. John Lucas goes out high to Cooner. He shoots on Elvin Hayes. A weird-looking shot by Cooner, but he gets it down.
Kevin's got the weirdest shot in the league. He shoots from the opposite side of his. He's a right-handed shooter, but he shoots from the left side. He comes across his face on the opposite side, so it's very difficult, but it goes in.
That one certainly did. He's over a 50% shooter. Elvin Hayes looking to break the tie. Too much on it. Moses Malone was with him, forced a bad shot. Here comes John Lucas. Mike Newlin pulls up, and he's got it. You were calling that one was in the air, Pete.
That was definitely in. I'm telling you right now, they're going to have to contain Newlin because if he gets hot hand, they're in trouble.
The Houston Rockets, down 22-8 at one point, have now come up to take a 2-point lead, and that's how it looks in the second quarter at Boston Garden. The Celtics rallying back to take a 37-30 lead. Chenier, that great ability to get up in the air, puts it up, and Newlin gave him a whap.
That was a heck of a jump shot. All that happened on that particular play was he got his feet stumbled.
10 points for Phil Chenier, and here he comes again with a 3-on-1 break. Dishes it off to Larry Wright, and they throw the ball away.
On that particular play, Don, what they should have done was Phil should have stopped at the foul line and then passed the ball or took in a jump shot.
So now it's a 30-30 game with 9:28 to play in the half. Now, let's go back to Boston Garden for more on the Celtics and 76ers as we again join Brent Musburger and Bill Cunningham.
Welcome those of you who are watching Washington and Houston. Here it's 37-30. Philadelphia with the ball and trailing by 7. Second quarter just underway. Julius serving with a poor game. They've been all over him so far. And the shot clock goes off. And a standing room crowd comes to its feet in the Garden.
That's the first time in the series the Celtics have been able to do that.
Harvey Catchings goes out and Caldwell Jones comes back in. Caldwell picked up 2 fouls in quarter number 1.
We're seeing Cowens helping everyone out on defense, allowing the 76er centers just to roam wherever they please.
Cowens, Billy, giving it up now to Saunders, who came off Langston's bench. Too much spin on the shot. Lloyd 3 was devastating Friday night. The Collins drives into Scott. No charging is the call.
Collins going to the hoop. This is a big play because if that was called the other way, that would have been the 4th foul on Charlie Scott.
Coach Gene Shue with his team behind by 7, but leading in this series 2 victories to 1. Game 5, Wednesday night, back on the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Jones hand checking Cowens' jump hook. Dave Cowens has been unbelievable. 17 points already for the game.
Dave is dominating at both ends of the court.
He has not missed from the field. Dave Cowens is 7 out of 7 right now. Steve Mix in Philadelphia goes over to Gene Shue's huddle. Celtics up by 9. 10-13 left in the first half.
Back to live action now. Washington has a 2-point lead, and as Larry Wright brings the ball inside, we have a foul call against the Houston Rockets. 8:04 to go in the first half. Pete, this one's going to be tight, I think, right down to the end.
I think it's going to be just as tight, and I also think there's going to be a lot of sore people tomorrow. Because this game has really been physical all the way through.
Larry Wright goes to the free throw line. The foul on the play was against Calvin Murphy. It was his second. We have one team foul against both clubs here in the second quarter. Larry Wright gets the free throw up and down, and it's a 33-30 game. Washington, after building up a 14-point lead, 22-8. Then saw the Rockets come back and take a 2-point lead. Now Washington back with a 3-point advantage. 7:55 to play in the first half. Dwight, excuse me, Pete.
Excuse me, Don. The one thing that the Rockets do well, and that is set their pattern offense. They want to get that good percentage shot.
They work a lot of plays, don't they?
They work a lot of plays.
Kupchak fights, rejected by Kunert. There's a foul on the play that'll send rookie Mitch Kupchak to the free throw line.
Here's a replay. Chenier gets it back, goes up, misses it, comes in, ball comes right over Kuner's shoulder. He goes up. It looked like he got him with his body, not with the shot block.
Mitch Kupchak, he's really added a lot to this Washington team. A very aggressive big man. You may recall him on the U.S. Olympic team that won the gold medal at Montreal. Kupchak, 11-point score in the regular season. He's a 57% field goal shooter. He said, I like to get inside shots. If you can't hit 70% of your layups, you're in trouble.
He's the type of player, too, Don, and he'll stay and clean up the gym, and he'll turn on the lights. He'll do anything he can to play basketball. He's got that type of attitude.
He adds a lot to a team, doesn't he, with that kind of
unbelievable amount.
Contribution.
What that means to a team with that type of attitude, it really helps.
So now it's a 34-30 game. Washington is in the lead. John Lucas has the ball for the Houston Rockets. Looping it down low is Calvin Murphy, and Kunert was going to the basket. And Houston makes one of its rare blatant turnovers, just throwing the ball away. I think that's the only one time they've done it. They had trouble getting shots earlier in the game, but then they came back with a running, penetrating game. Unseld, who only had 4 rebounds in the second game. Calvin Murphy with another steal. Look at him go to the basket. Look at that little man run. He's knocked to the floor, and there's no foul. Back the other way comes Henderson. Blocked by Kunert, and Kunert picks the ball off. Kupchak takes it away and to put it up and good. 36-30. Pete?
I tell you, Don, the officials are really letting this game get out of hand because Kunert feels that he was fouled on that particular play.
A foul on Leonard Gray. There's no question he hit Rudy Tomjanovich, and Rudy T will go to the free throw line to try 2. Washington's going to take a timeout now. 6:47 left to play in the first half. The Bullets lead the game 36-30. With Pete Maravich, this is Don Crickey back at Landover, Maryland. Pete, here's Calvin Murphy a moment ago on replay.
There's no initial contact made here, but watch Calvin's back leg get nudged. Just as he lets go of the ball, his back leg was nudged, and that threw the shot off, and I think there should have been a foul call.
There was no foul call, though, but Tomjanovich on a subsequent play is at the free throw line for Houston. The big guy of the University of Michigan makes it a 36-32 game. Leading scorer in the game is Chenier with 10 for Washington. Grevey has 9. Henderson has 6. Mitch Kupchak having a big second quarter. Can't get that to go, but gets the ball back. Feeds it underneath. 38-32. 6:19 to play in the first half. Here at Landover, Maryland, the Washington Bullets in the white uniform are holding to a 6-point lead over the Houston Rockets dressed in red. We welcome our Boston, Philadelphia viewers. This is Don Crickey with Pistol Pete Maravich. And this game has gotten very, very physical. It's been a shoving match early, and now people are starting to hit the floor like golden glovers.
As I said earlier, Don, the officials are going to have to take control of this basketball game. If they don't, somebody's going to get hurt. At this particular point, there's too much shoving. There's really not been that much blocking out. It's just been pushing the other guy out of the way, and this has become a street basketball game.
Washington with the ball in the white uniforms. That was Rudy Tomjanovich who hit the last shot to make it a 38-34 game. Washington led at the outset by 14 points, 22-8. And then Houston came back with a running game of Lucas and Calvin Murphy. And now here's a foul call underneath as rookie Mitch Kupchak, who has added a great dimension to this Washington team. The first-year player out of North Carolina goes to the basket.
Going up for the layup. Moses gets a good block, but he was on him with his body, and that's what the official call was body.
It is 38-34. Washington, 5:49 to play in the first half. So now Mitch Kupchak takes a look, and he'll try his second free throw. You see his season average on rebounds is 6. He has produced more. Well, he had the great opening game, 32 points and 16 rebounds.
Fantastic game.
7 points for Kupchak, all here in the second quarter. And again, Washington has the 6-point lead. It is 40-34. Tomjanovich looks low to Moses Malone. Kupchak against it. Kupchak shouting out, fire the ball, and he's saying, I want to challenge him. Dwight Jones spinning off, gets it away, and he gets it down just before the shot clock went off.
I think Donnie threw up a little prayer there, but it was answered. But what they try to do, they continue to try to go inside, and that's what they have to do.
Kupchak just outworking people. Boy, he just plays harder, and he now has 9 second quarter points, and again, Washington has the 6-point lead.
They're going to have to keep Kupchak off the rebounding boards. If they don't, he's going to really hurt them, as he's been doing.
John Lucas looks to go inside, drops it out to Dwight Jones. Here's a whistle inside. A 3-second violation on Houston, and the ball is back over to Washington. Pete?
They're having a very difficult time getting the ball into Moses. They're fronting him inside, and when the ball is thrown over to the other side of the court, Moses cannot seem to get his position like he wants to.
4:51 to go in the first half. Washington 42, Houston 36. Game 3 of this best-of-7 series. It's even up at a victory apiece coming in. Elvin Murphy goes way up over David Bing to get the ball in. Lucas pulls up for a 10-foot shot. Malone lost the ball, coming for the offensive rebound. It's back to Washington.
They're doing the same thing, Don. Elvin Hayes. Dwight Jones is fronting him when the ball is on the ball side, and they're keeping the ball away from Elvin, and Elvin hadn't scored too many points today.
Defensive directions coming from the Houston bench. Noselski calls out for the 4 defense, and here is Kupchak turning around. He's fired in 11 points in the second quarter, and now Washington's building up a big lead again as Dick Mata and Bernie Bickerstaff, the Washington coaches, look on. 44-36. 8-point advantage for the Bullets. Elvin Murphy looks at Moses Malone. Kupchak playing him very tight inside. Tomjanovich puts up the long shot. A foul call on Mitch Kupchak.
Here's a replay. What happens here, Kupchak gets something between both men. They both go up for the ball, and it's just a referee's decision. I really think that they could have called it either way.
Well, it's a big factor in the game now as Mitch Kupchak has picked up 3 personal fouls. 11 points and 3 personal fouls, his numbers here in the second quarter. And the boos are cascading down from high atop Landover, Maryland. I just hope they don't start throwing things down here since the Pistol and I are right at courtside, right in range. Dwight Jones drives to the basket, gets it up. It is 44-38. Washington's lead cut to 6. Jones has 4.
Dwight Jones has really come on, not only offensively that much, but defensively. He's doing one heck of a job on Elvin Hayes, and this is what he's expected to do.
He really is. Elvin Hayes is having trouble. He has only 3 points so far in the game against Dwight Jones. Now Malone gets the first.
Here's a replay. Kupchak drives hard to the basket. He gets the ball up, and it was definitely a foul right on the elbow.
Moses Malone draws his second personal foul. Kupchak with 11 points at the free throw line for Washington. He has scored 11 points. Kupchak looking for his 13th point. Rebound to Mike Newlin. It's a 45-38 game. Time becoming a factor now in the second quarter. We have 3 minutes and 35 seconds to play in it. It was a 2-point game at the end of the first quarter. Washington holding that. 2-point advantage. Newlin looks to Tomjanovich. He's playing too far out right now, but he's bringing Unseld out away from the board. Newlin back to Tomjanovich, shooting over Unseld. Fight for the rebound, and again Moses Malone gets it up. He's called for traveling.
He walked on that particular play. Here it is right here. Here's Moses getting good position. He gets the rebound. He gets it back up, and he takes 2 me. He dropped his bus tickets, as we say.
And so it goes back the other way to the white uniforms, the Houston Rockets. Kupchak throws it up. Rebound kept away. Last touch by Wesley Unseld of the Washington Bullets. It's inbounds to Houston. Newlin and Lucas in the back line for the Rockets. They trail by 7. 45-38. They've trailed by as many as 14 and then come back to lead by 2. They led 30-28. Houston did. Moses Malone moves Mitch Kupchak away from the ball with a fake and gets it up, spinning off to the right side.
This is what Houston wants to do. They want to continue to go inside to Malone and Jones. This is what they want to do to stay in the basketball game.
Elvin Hayes to do his thing. Just a misconnection, and the ball is back to Houston. Right now, the Rockets want a timeout. We have 2:36 to play in the first half. It is Washington 45, Houston 40. Well, how long a break is this? Well, the Houston scoring has been balanced. Rudy Tomjanovich has 8 points. Jones has 4. Malone has 8. Lucas has 8. Murphy has 6. Newlin has 4. A big factor there, you see the Philadelphia-Boston score in the second quarter. The Celtics holding to an 8-point lead. You pointed at the outset, Pete Maravich, that holding Elvin Hayes down was a key to Houston's game. They've done that. He only has 3 points. That's Dwight Jones primarily.
That is definitely Dwight Jones primarily. But I'll tell you exactly something done. Number one, this game has been so physical that a lot of these players are beginning to tell on them.
You think people are going to start wearing out in the second half?
But definitely, I think the fourth quarter is going to be the key quarter to the team that wins this game.
John Lucas got that last field goal for Houston, and now Kevin Grevey comes back to hit one for Washington. And it's a 47-42 game. The Bullets in the lead. 1:50 left to go in the first half. Tomjanovich looks to Dwight Jones outside. Hayes comes up, glove tight on him. Now Jones looks for the guards cutting underneath. They set a double pick on one side. Jones goes off against Hayes. Lucas moving on Chenier. And again, Houston is caught with a man in the lane too long. A 3-second violation, so they don't get the shot, and the ball's back over to Washington.
The thing that Houston has to do is get a good shot when they come down. They can't continue to come down and not get a shot at the basket.
1:30 left to go in the first half. It's 47-42 Washington. Game 3 of this Eastern Semifinal Series as Moses Malone starts it back the other way with a rebound for Houston. Lucas moving on Henderson. John Lucas is a magician. He's pulling things right out of his hip pocket. He now has 12 points, and he's keeping Houston close.
John Lucas has played very well against Washington all year, and he continues to do it in his playoffs.
He just stole that ball. Now he gets it right back from Dwight Jones. And John Lucas brings the Rockets back to within 1. We're inside a minute to go. 47-46. And Lucas has scored 14 points, the rookie from Maryland. He's a good player. He's a real good player. Here he comes again. Lead to Newlin. He'll crash anybody. Goes in on Grevey, and the Houston Rockets come back and take the lead. Dramatically, they lead at 48-47. 34 seconds to play in the first half. What a basketball game.
It was a great basketball game. They've done it with loose balls and little steals, and they're back in the lead.
Let's see what we have here. A whistle. It's going to go against Washington. It'll come back the other way. 25 seconds left to go in the second quarter. There's a foul call on Elvin Hayes. And that's his third. That's about and Dick Mata nose to nose. And nobody's blinking.
Actually, what he called Elvin for was a push right as the ball was thrown. Elvin gave a little nudge into the hip area, and this threw him off. And here's a replay. You'll see it right. Well, that's after it happened. That was after the fact.
Right now, Pete, we got 3 guys in some foul trouble for Washington. Hayes has 3, Unseld has 3, and Mitch Kupchak picked up 3 when he came in the second quarter. He also picked up 11 points.
No shot. That's what I tried to tell you. This is definitely going to be a factor in the second half if they got 3-3. Here's Dick Mata going nose to nose again. Here's the play right here. There you saw Elvin Hayes' left hand, just the ball was thrown. He hit Jones right in the small of the back, and it was a good call made by the official. I think for where Coach Mata was sitting, he didn't see Elvin do that.
John Lucas looking to work it down for the final shot as Nasalki is up, calling out signals. Lucas with so much presence and so much poise for a rookie. He runs this Houston offense, and they won their division with him in the backcourt. The shot comes up short. Wes Unseld has it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And now Houston will get it back as Washington throws it into the scorer's table. 3 seconds left to play in the first half. 48-47 Houston. They've trailed by as many as 14, and now they've rallied back. They lead once again. Rallied back from 14 points down to lead by 2, 30-28. Now they lead 48-47 to the Houston Rockets. Lucas shoots at the buzzer. It goes. The basket is good. John Lucas with a superior first half, scoring 16 points. And he sends his team, the Rockets, to the locker room with a 3-point lead.
Here's a replay. Lucas just drives in with no time left on the clock. Lets it fly. Unbelievable shot, and it went in. And I don't even know if John was thinking about banking that one, but you saw the enthusiasm when it went in from the Houston bench. And this is going to be a factor.
Isn't it? And so the first half comes to an end. You got your money's worth in that 12-minute second quarter. We'll take a break. Now let's go to Boston Garden and Brent Musburger.
Dang, the Celtics. The Celtics with the ball, with the lead here in Boston Garden. Havlicek makes it 57-47, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. The story has been Dave Powell. Perfect so far from the floor, and as a matter of fact, Gene Shue now has gone to a 3-forward attack. Here's one of the threes. The 76ers have been shooting at the perimeter the last minute and a half. Havlicek, left side. Have been watching Washington and Houston. The story here is that the Celtics are off to the best start they've had in the 4-game series. Listen to the crowd here.
76ers are going to have to pull themselves together. It appears that they've become complacent after pulling out and having a 2-1 advantage in the Celtics in the series. For some reason, they didn't seem to come out with the intensity that they've had in the last 3 games, even though they lost the first game. So they're going to have to pull themselves together.
I imagine Daryl Dawkins will get to see some more action in the second half, Billy.
I'm surprised we haven't seen him at this stage of the game because Cowens is just running rampant off the boards and shooting the jump shots. And Darryl in the second game was very physical and contained David. David wasn't able to roll to the basket to make these little hook shots, and he wasn't able to dominate the boards in the fashion he's doing today.
That's what's coming up at halftime. The Greek's grapevine.
What has the Greek got in store for us today?
Wants to talk about Gene Bartow.
Oh.
There's Cowan's stats here in the first half. 11 for 11. 12 rebounds in response to a magnificent game by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out on the West Coast.
Does he remind you of Pete Rose or what?
Same kind of fire, Burns. And look who's there.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
That's how he gets all those numbers, folks. He's looking at the monitor now to see how he looks on television. He's one of my stats men, along with Father Creed. Whenever the Celtics are playing on a Sunday afternoon and CBS is here, Father Creed gives a short version of services.
Yeah. And here's
And there he is. Never misses a game. All right. Here are the 76ers with 1 minute 55 seconds to go in the first half. Allen's on McGinnis. McGinnis drives on him, throws it back outside. It'll go to Boston on the turnover, and Shue furious.
This is the first time Gene Shue has gone to the 3-forward offense in this series, and it just doesn't appear to be working too well. Matter of fact, it isn't working too well.
Guinness is on Collins. Collins pushing and shoving. George likewise. Here's Scott. There's no White on the steal. Bob wanted a foul, but no whistle, and Whit slams it home.
76ers better pull themselves together right now, or else they're going to be run right out of the Boston Garden.
Will Jones will be checking in, Billy. Irving, turnaround.
Those are tough shots Julius has had to make, and he was getting in better position in the first 3 games for his shot.
Mitch yanks one down. Inside of a minute in the first half. Irving, same spot. Collins gives him only one opportunity. Goes the distance. Bibby was there on Havlicek. Loose ball foul, and Bibby says he ran right into me.
That still was a bad pass by Dave. He should have made the easy outlet pass to the closer guard and let the guard take it down the court.
42 seconds left in the half.
The Celtics will try and get a quick shot. That will enable them to get 2 shots in this last 42 seconds of the half.
Lloyd Free receiving instructions from Chu.
The reason Lloyd comes in now is they'll try and run the clock down and isolate Lloyd one-on-one, trying to get him ready for the second half and get him motivated. And he can hit one jump shot, possibly get him going for the second half.
They're waiting now. Bibby cleared on the other side of the floor. Now they're ready to go. Again, 40 seconds left, first half. Wicks up over Julius. 63-49 inside of 30 seconds. The crowd yelling for Free to shoot.
The Celtics will have 6 seconds to get that last shot on. That's such a tough job Curtis Rowe has, trying to keep his hands off Julius Erving when he makes that strong move to his left.
3 fouls on him. Heinsohn in response. He's saying to that officer, hold on real tight so I don't go charging out there.
Very surprising we haven't seen a technical foul in the first half.
20 years ago, Tommy Heinsohn scored 37 points and the Celtics won their first world championship. They're going to honor that group at halftime. Heinsohn was only a rookie in that game.
Steve Mix is the oldest 76er. He's 29. Do you know how old he was when John Havlicek broke into professional basketball?
I cheated. I saw the note.
Oh, you sneak you. 14. Darryl Dawkins wasn't in nursery school yet.
Yeah, but Dawkins was still bigger than he was. Now we come down to the final 10 seconds first half. 63-51. Knicks with a hand on it. Wicks retrieves. Hit it. One half is over. And the Boston Celtics have responded to the challenge. They lead it.
And that's how it stands at the half back at Landover, Maryland. Houston leading Washington 50-47. The Rockets rallying back from once a 14-point deficit.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by the makers of Edge, shaving leather.
With Pistol Pete Maravich, this is Don Crickey back at Landover, Maryland. We're ready now for the opening play of the third quarter as Washington inbounds the ball, trailing by 3, 50-47. Elvin Hayes held to just 3 points in the first half, just 1 of 5 shooting. Moses Malone rips it down, and here comes Houston for the first time with a basketball in the third quarter.
Okay, Don, Washington's 2 big guns, Hayes and Chenier, are 4 for 18 the first half, so they're going to have to do more. They're going to have to do more scoring, and I'm sure they'll come out shooting.
4 for 18. That's right. Chenier's only 4 for 12. 50-47. No points up yet in the third quarter. Washington led at the end of the first quarter, 29-27. And now we have Houston with Tomjanovich. Going down low, looking for Dwight Jones. Now goes back outside to Newlin. Alvin Murphy not started the game. Here's a steal from Newlin by Tom Henderson, driving on Lucas. Foul call. John Lucas is charged with a personal foul. Henderson, as you saw, did not get the ball to go down, so he'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Here's a replay. Changes direction. He goes to the right. Lucas reaches in to get the ball and hits him right on the elbow right there. It was a foul, and he almost made a 3-point play out of it.
We have 10:55 left to play in the third quarter. In the first half, Washington shot 43%. Houston shot 47%. Neither team especially effective at the free throw line. 60% for Houston. The Rockets had 6 of 10. Washington at 9 of 13. Rebounding was very even. 22 rebounds for the Houston Rockets. 22 rebounds for the Washington Bullets. Now they get the ball tipped out to Henderson. Here's Elvin Hayes. You know he's going to be going to the basket because he hasn't put up points. Jones takes it away. Dwight Jones has been tough on Elvin Hayes right through this series.
Jones is doing an outstanding job. He continues to do that. Washington is going to be in trouble.
50-48, and now 52-48 as John Lucas, the leading point producer in the game, puts up number 18 on that field goal. He had 16 in the first half. 52-48. Houston in the lead. Here's Hayes trying it again.
What's it?
Here at Landover, Maryland, the Houston Rockets are holding a 2-point lead. They have the basketball in the red uniforms. Washington and white, we welcome our Boston, Philadelphia viewers. We've just opened the third quarter. Don Criqui with Pistol Pete Maravich. A very aggressive basketball game, even more so than the usually aggressive NBA playoff games are.
A very aggressive basketball game. Well, what you're going to see right now, Washington's continue to go into Elvin to see if they can get him off. Right now, he has not been getting off in the first half, as we stated, and they're going to try to get him the ball. And Chenier. Chenier also has got to get some points.
Mike Newlin's last field goal made it 54-50. Houston, here is Moses Malone ripping it down up court to Newlin. He'll go in on Chenier. And he gets points on the roll and is now the biggest lead of the game for the Houston Rockets, 56-50. We have 9:25 to play in the third quarter. As Tom Masalki, the Houston coach, is up and looking on. Newlin coming off the bench to hit 5 field goals in 5 tries. Unseld has not been productive. Neither is Elvin Hayes for Houston. They've done almost nothing offensively. Moses Malone gets it up court. Chenier steals the ball. And Malone takes a very poorly chosen foul, trying to get it back in his disgust at having thrown the ball away.
It was all he had to do was just pass that ball a little bit faster.
And so there's a timeout on the floor with Houston in the lead, 56-50, and 9:07 left to play in the third quarter. Moses Malone fouling Phil Chenier in the backcourt, so that gives Chenier 2 shots. And he's a tough man when he gets them.
I tell you, at the beginning here, Moses Malone has been clearing off the offensive and defensive boards, and he's made the difference so far at the beginning of this third quarter.
Phil Chenier, an 84% free throw shooter, gets them both to bring Washington back to it in 4. It is 56-52. This is Game 3 of this Eastern Semifinal Series. They came in with a split after the first 2 games at Houston. Newlin misses his first shot of the day. And here comes Houston with a chance now. Washington with a chance to come to within 2 as Henderson puts it up off the run. Malone way up. Gives it to Lucas, and watch him run an offense. John Lucas changing paces, driving in and out. Now, Newlin. You know he's got the hand.
That's it. When Mike gets that little 15-foot jump shot and it's open, he's going to score. And like I said before, Moses is doing the job on the defensive board.
It is 58-52 Houston. Elvin Hayes, nothing at all. Threw up an air ball. And here comes Lucas. Boy, he just wants to have that challenge presented to him. He wants to go to the basket against the best defense you can put up. Now it comes the other way. Henderson drives on Lucas. Basket goes, and Lucas fouled him. Great play by Tom Henderson of Washington. He has 9 points and will shoot for 10.
Here it is on the replay. Here you see Lucas. What Lucas should have done was try to draw the offensive foul, but what he does is try to block the shot, and all he does is use his left arm for protection, and he gets a 3-point play out of it, maybe.
Henderson had a big effect on this Washington team. He came here in the trade from Atlanta January 21. Washington was a 53% winning team at that point. They won 63% of their games the rest of the way with Henderson directing things in the back line. Evan Grevey lost a contact lens. This is sometimes bogus, though. Take a little free time. That's
true. That was a very big play, Don, because at this particular point, Washington did not have any momentum going for themselves. Houston had all the momentum, and now they've come back and maybe get a 3-point play. It might start them on the road again to success.
Hey, I guess this is legitimate. They got a lot of people looking.
And it's amazing how all those eyes can't find that little glass, that little piece of it.
One man thought he had it, came running out of behind the press table, but still haven't gotten it.
Of course, I used to know a guy that actually wore glass contacts, and that's not very smart. But they have
They grind those up in the sand with those big feet coming down. I guess most of them are plastic now, huh?
Most of them are plastic and rubber.
Well, right now we're going to take a break. 58-54 in Houston. They found the contact lens. We'll be back in a moment. Well, here's Tiny, the Washington mascot, getting down a little bit to the music. Has his shades on.
At least Tiny, he's the only one who hasn't made a turnover, I think.
That's right. And the guards have been doing most of the scoring here in the third quarter. Dave Bing is back in the game now. Wesley Unseld puts another one back up. Boy, they just can't find it down. That guy, Kupchak. Were it not for Kupchak, Washington would have very little production from their front line.
Kupchak has come in and he's an intensified player. He keeps going after the basketball on the offensive board. This is what Washington needs.
Lucas gets it down low to Tomjanovich, sweeps it up over Unseld, and Rudy T knocks one in to give Houston again the 4-point advantage, 60-56. Rudy Tomjanovich has scored 10 points for Houston. Dwight Jones, he's just all over Elvin Hayes' case, harassing him, whipping those hands in his face. Dave Bing has too much on it. Hayes gets the offensive rebound. Ooh, what do we have? Ball's coming over to Houston.
He stepped out of bounds on that particular play, but it was a good play by Elvin to get the ball, but the official caught his foot on the line.
We have 7:23 to play in the third quarter here at Landover, Maryland. The Houston Rockets, with the series tied at 1 apiece, are up 60-56 at this point. Lucas has led them from the backcourt, playing a superior all-around game. Down low to Newlin. He shot so well. This is his 7th shot. Oh, he didn't take it. He's made 5 of his first 6. Dwight Jones lost it off the inbound line. It's back over to the Bullets.
On that particular play, all they ran was a shuffle cut for Newlin. He came off. If he would have thrown a bounce pass to Newlin, he might have been able to go up for the jump shot, but he threw the ball away.
You see the Celtics are getting all over Philadelphia today. Boston Garden leading 70-50, 73-55 in the third quarter. Unseld looks to Dave Bing, tries to put Newlin up with a fake. Dave Bing takes it to the hoop.
That was a great move by Dave Bing. He faked the jump shot, he penetrated, and he had a fantastic move on the layup.
He knew where he wanted to go, right down the lane to the basket. He got it there. Now Tomjanovich with Unseld on him. Tomjanovich hooks on Unseld again. This time Malone tips it away, and Unseld rips it down. Unseld asserting himself. Elvin Hayes looking again to try to get points. And now the Big E gets it to go, and it's a tie basketball game at 60.
Now Washington's getting their running game started again. And this is what way Washington plays the best, is when they have the running game going, and Unseld is a Mr. Outlet pass of basketball.
6:14 to play in the third quarter. Moses Malone against Kupchak, jumps right over him, and Moses Malone softly lays it down, and again Houston has a 2-point lead, 62-60. Moses Malone so far scored 10 points. We welcome our Boston, Philadelphia viewers here at Landover, Maryland. The score is Houston 62 and Washington 60. We have 5 minutes and 49 seconds to play in the third quarter, and it's a game that's gone back and forth. Neither team able to break it open. It looked like Washington did early, but then Houston came back and led at the half by 3. Wesley Unseld going to the basket. Finally gets it to go. Washington has not gotten good production from their frontline players. Unseld has but 4 points, but he just tied the game with that driving shot.
That was a great move by Wes Unseld, and this is something that Washington probably wants Wes to do more, is look at the basket.
Here's a whistle underneath. Stops play with 5:22 to go in the third quarter. The scoring breakdown. The leading man in the game so far is John Lucas.
Here's the replay. Malone going up. Kupchak lets him shoot the jump shot, and it's 2 points. He's very difficult to withstand under that basket.
Lucas has 18 points, the rookie from Maryland, leading the Houston Rockets in the backcourt. And now Tomjanovich has 12 points. And again, Houston holds to a 2-point lead, 64-62. This, like the Boston-Philadelphia game, is a very, very important matchup as Houston tries to get the home court back. At this point, it's even up now. Elvin Hayes, who didn't have much in the first half but 3 points, has come up with 6 points in the third quarter. He now has 9, and the game is tied again.
Elvin is a streak shooter, Don, and if he gets it going, watch out, Houston.
Dwight Jones has done a big job against Elvin Hayes throughout the first two games and now this one in the series defensively. John Lucas looks to go to the hoop, weaving in and out. Can't get free of Tom Henderson. Here is Newlin knocking it down for the Rockets, and again they lead by 2. He has 14. It's 67-64 Houston. 66-64 Houston. Elvin Hayes shoots again. Now Elvin Hayes is coming alive. He has 11 points.
That's his third straight hoop. And like I said, he's a streak shooter, and it's going to be difficult for them to stop him now. He's got it going. There he goes.
Washington can take the lead. Henderson goes to Hayes. He didn't get it to go. Dwight Jones gets it. So Elvin Hayes and the Washington Bullets are cooled off, but for the moment now. John Lucas wants to set it up.
Here you see Houston. They are continually always going to come down and set their offensive pattern. There's Tomjanovich with a 20-footer.
Boy, can't he fire it up.
When he's left open, he's a pure shooter you're going to see in the NBA today.
He came into the league the same year you did, I think, 7 years ago.
Exactly right.
Kupchak comes back, the big 6'10 center for the Washington Bullets. He has now scored 16 points, and the game, as you see, is again tied at 68. The 10th. This game has been tied, and Houston wants a timeout. We have 3 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the third quarter here at Landover, Maryland. The scores: the Washington Bullets 68, the Houston Rockets 68. Houston and Washington tied up in the third quarter with 3:16 to play. The Rockets have the ball, looking to take back the lead as Calvin Murphy is now back in the game. John Lucas with 18 points looks inside Tomjanovich. He can put it up from the hotel. Moses Malone with one of those very valuable offensive rebounds. Look at Calvin Murphy. Isn't he something? But they've disallowed the shot.
I think that was a good call by the official. If they have it on the, I don't know if they're going to have it. Here it comes right here. Here's Murphy. He drives in. Unseld moves over. I don't know. It's kind of questionable because of the fact that Calvin had left his feet before West had become stationary.
So Calvin's bucket is disallowed. The game remains in a deadlock at 68. Elvin Hayes has come alive in the third quarter. Gets the ball to Dave Bing. One-on-one with Calvin Murphy. Rebound to Kunert. Loose ball foul will go against the Houston Rockets. No question about that. Kunert knocked down Kupchak.
Right
now
here.
Let's get more on the 76ers Celtic game as we switch to Brent Musburger in Boston.
Welcome to the Houston-Washington audience. 4:55 left in the third. The Celtics with the ball and in control because of Dave Cowan. He is 13 of 16 from the field. They're working against Daryl Dawkins. His 17th shot. He is now 13 of 17. Grevey goes to Collins. Philadelphia needs a string to climb back in. Here is young 20-year-old Dawkins muscling up over Hondo Havlicek.
That's the first 2 points for the centers of the 76ers in this whole game.
So they have been outscored 29-2. Dwight in a little too far. Back to Scott. Scott drove inside, and a foul is called against Philadelphia. That's 2 against Big George. Scott at the line. Besides hitting 13 of 17, Cowens has yanked down 16 rebounds. So with 4:16 to go in the third, that's our situation, 83-67.
Back to the live action now at Landover, Maryland. This is Don Crickey with Pistol Pete Maravich as the Houston Rockets have the ball, but they are trailing by 1. Alvin Murphy pump faking.
That was some kind of shot there.
He thought it might be blocked, but he waited for the defense to sweep on by, and he just put it up on the way down. Here's a call that's going to go against Washington.
He just called that foul on West. West was using his arm as he was coming down the court, and he just moved Tomjanovich out of the way, and they called a foul on him.
And now Johnson comes in the game for the Houston Rockets. John Johnson, a former All-American at Iowa.
This could be a factor. West has got 4 fouls now, and we still got 1:54 to go in this quarter.
Alvin Murphy throws up a shot that won't go. Dave Bing driving on Lucas. Look at Dave Bing going to the basket.
That right there is a Washington Bullets fast break. Unseld's outlet pass to a driving man to the basket and 2 points.
And now Washington takes back the lead by 1. It's 71-70. Here's almost a steal. Houston gets it back, and Lucas throws it up. Elvin Hayes pushed Moses Malone right off the play, and there was no foul. Got up and just literally pushed him with 2 hands. Johnson gets the ball to Cunard. Lucas throws it up. And Unseld gets the rebound. Outlet pass goes to Kupchak. Good call. Murphy had position.
That was not a very good play for Kupchak to come down and try to go around Murphy. Murphy's too quick for him, and he took the charge from him.
Rudy Tomjanovich has 14 points for Houston. Mike Newlin has 14. John Lucas has 18. Moses Malone has 10. Elvin Hayes has 11 for Washington. Kupchak has 17. Chenier has 12. Henderson has 9. Grevey has 11. And that last coup makes it 72-71. We have 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
They're going to get it into Elvin here. They're trying to get it in.
Up court it goes to Calvin Murphy. Drives out, flips the ball out to Johnson. Now Moses Malone shoots off glass, and there's a foul call. 22 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Rockets with a 1-point lead. They led by 3 at the half, 50-47. They trailed Washington by 2 at the end of the first quarter. Malone has now scored 10 points, and he has 10 rebounds.
This game is starting to loosen up a little bit. It's not as, although it's physical, there doesn't seem to be as much shoving underneath the basket. I think guys are getting a little bit tired, and this is really going to tell in this fourth period. This game, I think, is going to go to the wire, and it's going to be whoever is fresh.
Grevey was charged with the last personal foul. Houston is over the limit. That was the 4th team foul in the third quarter on Washington. 12 points now for Malone. And a 3-point lead for the Rockets, 74-71. Tom Henderson, quarterbacking in the back line for Washington, calls the play. 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Henderson looks behind Wesley Unseld. Now down low to Dave Bing. Back out to Henderson. What do we have? 3-second violation on Elvin Hayes. It's back to Houston with 3 seconds left to go in the quarter. John Johnson will gun it up from half court. No, he won't. Never got it away.
Never got a chance.
And so the third quarter comes to an end with Houston leading by the same margin they led by at the half, 3 points, 74-71. Got to give me the information first. We have the fourth quarter coming up, and there's third game of a best-of-7 NBA semifinal series in the East. It is even up coming into it. 1 game apiece, and it's now 74-71. Houston heading into the final 12 minutes. You see the personal foul problems that Washington has. Kupchak with 5, Unseld with 4, Lucas of Houston has 4. Hayes, Malone, and Jones are with 3. This is Don Crickey with Pistol Pete Maravich. Pete, what do you look for down the stretch now?
Well, at this particular point, I think Washington is still going to try to get their running game going. Houston, on the other hand, will continue to just drive their offense every time down the court. They're not the type of team that's going to run every time they get the ball. They just want to pattern themselves every time down the court because that's what's giving them the lead, going inside to Malone, inside to their big men.
Calvin Murphy was just charged with his 4th personal foul. Wesley Unseld working with Tom Henderson, Elvin Hayes, Phil Chenier, and Kevin Grevey for Washington. And again, a 3-second violation is called. Again, it is on Elvin Hayes.
Again, a big play on a big foul on Elvin. But what Washington's going to try to do now is get the ball to Chenier, who has been dormant for the last couple of quarters, and to Elvin Hayes. They have to get their scoring in.
1, 2, 3, 4. Elvin Murphy takes aim and guns it down from about 22 feet out. He's got 10 points. Murphy, very upset of the last foul call against him, comes right back and coolly fires it in to make it a 5-point Houston lead. Chenier's been quiet for a while. He was so productive in the first quarter. Now he knocks it down and draws the foul on the play.
That is another big basket right there because Houston had the momentum. Here's the play right here. He fakes Calvin around the right, comes back, and goes between both of them and shoots the ball in. He's caught right over the shoulder by Lucas.
Don't forget, next Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Chenier Cup from Japan with three-time Olympic gold medalist Nadia Comaneci of Romania, Nelly Kim of the Soviet Union, and more competing in this prestigious worldwide gymnastic competition. And we'll have the Bluegrass Stakes from Keeneland Racetrack in Lexington, Kentucky. That's next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Elvin Murphy, who got the last personal foul, he's upset. And that foul right now is on Grevey. That's his second, as Larry Wright, the rookie from Grambling, comes back in the game. 10:50 left to go in the ball game. Houston leading Washington 76-74. In the game for Houston, we have Moses Malone, Calvin Murphy, who's shooting, and very nicely, John Johnson, John Lucas, and Kevin Coonard.
Actually, Moses made that play. Calvin threw the ball into him. Chenier came back and threw it right back, and he got the easy jump shot.
Grevey looks inside. Unseld just standing outside, putting up the big pick. Now he gets the basketball, looks to Elvin Hayes. Moses Malone keeping him from getting the ball inside. Chenier, as Houston double teams the ball. Grevey shoots. Elvin Hayes very nicely with an offensive rebound. Fight for the ball, and John Johnson comes up with it. And John Lucas, who directs the Houston offense, comes back down the floor, surveys the field underneath as they set up. Johnson takes a look. Down to Kevin Coonard. Bill Chenier, 6'4", takes the defensive board and gets it up to Wright. Dick Motta changing his backcourt alignment with Wright in the game, trying to get a little more flow. Washington has not gotten their break going.
And they also have to get a good basket. They have to get a basket next two times down the floor. There it is.
That was indeed a good one as Dick Motta looks on. 17 points now for Phil Chenier of the Washington Bullets. He brings the Bullets back to within two. It is 78-76.
They're going to get back in this game. Phil's got to do the scoring.
John Johnson, a forward, playing outside. Now he'll fire it up. John Johnson knocks it in over Kevin Grevey. The first points of the game for Johnson. 4-point lead for Houston. Larry Wright swings inside and feeds off. Grevey can't get it to go, and Coonard rebounds. A lot of big people in there for Houston.
That's exactly right. Great penetration by Wright, and Grevey had the open about 6 or 7 footer, but he just missed it.
John Lucas fires it up. Elvin Hayes tips it out, but Moses Malone gets it right back to the basket and shoots it up over Elvin Hayes, but Wes Unseld gets the rebound. 4-point lead for Houston.
Washington's got to be sure to get a good shot every time they come down the court because the momentum is not really with them.
You'll see a doubleheader, one of 2 games coming up, and you'll also actually get parts of both of them as L.A. plays at Golden State, and Wesley Unseld drives to the basket. The other second game is Denver at Portland. Wesley Unseld with 6 points. Those were his biggest ones as he came in hard. Calvin Murphy goes to the deck but quickly springs up. Poorly chosen shot by Calvin. He hasn't had many. That missed it all. And Washington can tie the game. Larry Wright comes down the floor and ties the game.
That's what they needed. They needed that big basket right there, and Wright got it for them. Now what they got to concentrate is stopping Houston down the court this particular time, and the momentum will change because of the crowd.
Look at Lucas go up. Here's a foul call underneath. It'll go against Washington.
Here it is right here. Lucas goes in. And Coonard. Foul called on Coonard. I thought the foul was on. They called it the other way around at the beginning, and then they changed their opinion on the call, and they called it on Coonard. So,
no question, the first initial indication was that the foul was on the Washington Bullets. Unseld sits down now. He has 11 rebounds in this game. 7:20 left to play. Elvin Hayes shoots. And John Johnson rips off a big defensive board for Houston. And here comes John Lucas to set it up from the pattern offense.
And that's exactly what they'll do. They'll set it up to try to get a good shot at the basket. Preferably, they want to go inside, but the way Johnson's been working, they're letting him go one-on-one because if he can get the hot hand, he can turn the game around.
Personal foul call on
Kevin Grevey was charged with that personal foul. We're going to break for a moment with 6:58 left to play. And the game tied at 80. With Pete Maravich, this is Don Crickey back at Landover, Maryland, the Capitol Center. We're all knotted up 80-80 in the fourth quarter, 6:58 to play in the game. Chenier goes for the steal, but Lucas reaches out and snags the basketball.
The key right now.
Here is Calvin Murphy looking down low to Moses Malone. Elvin Hayes against him. Moses Malone can't get it to go, and Elvin Hayes takes down the defensive board. And now Washington can go in front.
The key right now, going down the stretch, is for each team not to have any turnovers and to take good percentage shots. That's going to be the key to the victory.
Foul call on Elvin Hayes as he knocked Moses Malone down. No question about it. Official right on top of the play.
Here's the play right here. The ball goes into Elvin. He turns right into him. Moses had perfect position. It was a good call by the official.
Well, we said much earlier this looked like it was going to be one of those ball games that might come down to the final shot. It certainly gives every indication of being that kind of a game now in the fourth quarter. It is tied 80-80. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. Quinard looks down low to Malone. Moses Malone as Quinard fires it up. Rebound down to Larry Wright. Smallest guy outside of Calvin Murphy on the floor. Kupchak makes it go.
Okay, Kupchak made that play, and he made it by just running down the court.
82-80. Here's a foul call. Washington has back the lead. Foul on Tomjanovich.
That's his second offensive foul. Newlin and Jones back into the lineup for Houston.
We welcome our Philadelphia-Boston viewers here at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. Washington has just come back to take a 2-point lead, 82-80, and a driving shot off the break by Mitch Kupchak. He shoots again. He gets it down again. And the rookie from North Carolina has now scored 21 points. And he did not play in the first quarter.
It's been Kupchak this last 2 minutes. He supplied them with the firepower. He's also supplied them with the momentum.
Tomjanovich looks for the basket. Here is a foul call from underneath from Roger McCann. They're up and booing. This has been a very tough crowd and a very difficult game for these officials to work. For the most part, they're
Here's the play right here.
Good.
The shot is taken. Watch underneath the basket. Elvin is pushing. I didn't think there was that much contact. It could have went either way.
Washington has reeled off 8 straight points. Now Moses Malone fights inside. He and Elvin Hayes are in literally a wrestling match inside. And here's another whistle. It'll be a call against Elvin Hayes.
Here's the play right here. He gets fouled right there. He gets fouled again. And there he gets fouled about 3 times on that particular play. It was a good call by the official.
84-80 the score. Washington. Moses Malone at the free throw line for the Houston Rockets. He's got 12 points. And Malone knocks down his 13th. A 69% free throw shooter. He has been a dominant factor in this series. Just spectacular plays. You see what's coming up next. Los Angeles at Golden State or Denver at Portland. Moses Malone matched the NBA season high with 15 offensive rebounds in Game 2 of this series. He had 26 rebounds overall in Game 2. Elvin Hayes forces a shot. Tomjanovich rebounds. Malone picks up the free ball.
Each time down the court, they're going to 2 people. They're going either Hayes or Kupchak, and hopefully Chenier will get open for some outside jump shots.
We have an 84-82 score on the board with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the game. Washington is in the lead after trailing by 3 at the half. Dwight Jones drives on Kupchak, and Dwight Jones from the University of Houston makes it go, and he's got 6 points.
That was a great move by Dwight. He took it right into the basket, and that ties the basketball game up, and now we're in for a thriller.
They're knotted up at 84 now. Elvin Hayes with Dwight Jones against him. Feeds off to Larry Wright. Moses Malone with the rebound. Here's a whistle underneath.
Here's the play right here. The shot is taken by Wright. If you watch Malone underneath the basket, as he comes in, Newlin knocks Chenier out of the way, and that's the foul. They called it on Newlin.
Loose ball foul against the Rockets. A good call as Newlin was pushing off. 84-84. Larry Wright looking to break the tie and put Washington into the lead. Here's Kupchak with 21 points. The perfect assist for Wes Unseld. Kupchak did that.
That was a great pass.
Washington with a 2-point lead. Time becoming a very big factor now. 3:55 left to play in the game.
Houston has to get a good percentage shot each time down the court, as does Washington.
A lot of people moving without the ball as Dwight Jones drives, and look at Tomjanovich come from off the play and slam it through on the follow-up.
There was no doubt about that. 2 points there, Don.
He got all of it. He's got 16 points, and we're tied at 86. Kupchak takes a look inside, goes to Unseld, and Kupchak flows down low. And Unseld heads to the basket. Here's a foul. Against Washington, no against Houston. Tom Naselke maintaining his decorum quite nicely in the heat of this battle, shouting out instructions to his Houston Rockets. The game is tied at 86. Washington looking to break it again. Kupchak goes to Unseld and again goes down low. Almost stolen by Mike Newlin. He got the ball, tipped it away and out of bounds, back in bounds to Washington.
Neither team can ill afford to commit another foul. If they do, that puts both teams in a penalty. And at this particular time, with only 3 minutes to go, foul shooting could do it. Could be the difference in this game.
Tom Henderson, you see, coming back in the ball game now for Washington. Elvin Hayes is going to shoot it. He gets it to go, and he draws a foul. Elvin Hayes gives Washington a 2-point lead. He can make it a 3-point lead.
That's the first time. Here's the play right here. Elvin turns into the right. He fakes, then goes up, gets Dwight Jones off of his feet, and makes a good move to the basket. What he's doing here, he's turning into the basket instead of turning away from the basket. And this is something he hadn't done the whole game until right now, and this is when they need it.
Elvin Hayes with a weak first half, but now he's come back. He has scored 14 points. And Houston turns the ball over at the baseline. They bounce it on the inbound line.
A very crucial turnover. A very crucial turnover.
Every one of them is now. 89-86. Washington with a 3-point lead. You see we're inside 3 minutes to go. Elvin Hayes wants to go one-on-one. Feeds off to Henderson. Moses Malone with the rebound. Malone looks for a backcourt man, and John Lucas comes up to run things. Houston needs a hoop very badly now. They come back the other way without getting points. Washington can take a 5-point lead as we'll go into the final 2 minutes. Dwight Jones loses the ball, picked up by Elvin Hayes. Houston's not getting shots.
They're not getting shots. That's 2 big turnovers. A 3-point down. That's like giving another team 2 more shots at the basket, 4 points. It's very crucial at this time to have. You cannot make turnovers, and you have to give good percentage shots at the end.
Elvin Hayes looks inside to Henderson. In and out. Kupchak with a rebound. Elvin Hayes gets it. And finally, Tomjanovich rips it off and holds on. 2 minutes left to go. It's a 3-point game, Washington. And Houston wants a timeout.
Tom Naselke wants to talk things over.
That's what they'll do with 1:49 left to play, and the Bullets holding to an 89-86 lead. 89-86 is the score as we head down the stretch. 1:46 left to play in the game. Washington is in the lead. Houston has the basketball. John Lucas, who scored 18 points, gets it to Newlin, and down low to Moses Malone. Malone with his own rebound. What move. Here's a foul call. It's got to be on Washington. Malone will go to the free throw line.
Moses does this on his own. He gets out of the way. He goes up, he jumps, and he goes right back after. You notice he looks at it, he goes right back after he gets it, and then when he goes back up, he gets chopped by 3 different guys.
All right. right, we want to welcome those of you who've been watching the Philadelphia-Boston game as you join us now for an update here at Landover, Maryland. We have 1:32 left to go. We're heading into the final furlong of this third game of the Washington-Houston series. It has been a dramatic game, a lot of intensity as you'd expect. Moses Malone has been playing the low game. He just threw a two-shot foul. With both teams over the limit now in the final 2 minutes, Malone will get 3 chances to make 2. He has 15 rebounds in the game. He has scored 15 points. Washington leads by 2, now by 1.
Houston has committed 2 costly turnovers the last 2 times down the court, but they got the 2 free throws. This is very important for them.
Phil Chenier moving the basketball. Here's Elvin Hayes. He did very little in the first half offensively. He's come very much alive in the last 2 quarters now. Working on Dwight Jones. Elvin Hayes is looking to go to the hoop, and he has called for it travel. And so the ball is back over to the Houston Rockets.
Again, each team is committing costly turnovers, Don, and at this particular point in the game, this game could be decided by 1 shot.
I tell you, we got a lot of turnovers. The official stat is Houston has 23 and Washington has 21, and that's how much time remains in the game. And now, a most vital possession for Houston. If they hit the shot here, they'll take the lead. 1:05 left to go. Newlin, he's been shooting for good percentage, looking to get it up. Inside to Moses Malone. Look at all that. Whoa! He got after it and got all of it.
It was some kind of move there. He went up and told anybody to come and get him, and he put it through this. He got all of it, like you said, Don.
He got every bit. And Houston takes the lead as we're inside 50 seconds. Down low to Elvin Hayes. And Moses Malone, who never played college basketball, right to the pros out of high school, gets the big rebound. Naselke, the Houston coach, up. And he wants his team to come back over and have a little powwow as we find 34 seconds on the game clock.
A big stuff, and a big rebound at the other end. It could be the difference in this game.
So with 34 seconds left in the game, it is 90-89, Houston in the lead.
What Houston wants to do right now is they do not want to commit a turnover. They want to try to get a good percentage shot.
34 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. It is 90-89. The Houston Rockets holding to a 1-point lead. They led by 3 at the half. They trailed by 2 at the end of the first quarter. The leading scorer in the game for Houston, Moses Malone, has 18, and John Lucas also has 18. Tomjanovich has 16. Murphy has 12. Newlin has 14. Kunnert 4. Johnson 2. Jones 6. For Washington, Hayes has 14. Grevey has 11. Unseld has 8. Chenier has 17. Henderson has 9. Kupchak coming off the bench to lead all the scorers in the game with 21 points for Washington. Wright has 5, and Bing has 4. 34 seconds left to play. Houston leading by a single point. They have the ball. How much is on the shot clock? 15 seconds, Pete.
Houston, what they've been discussing over there, I know, is the fact that they have to get a good percentage shot. So they're going to set up a little offensive pattern, probably either for Tomjanovich, Newlin, or Malone.
Okay, we welcome you back from the Boston-Philadelphia Network. Don Criqui with Pete Maravich as we are inside 40 seconds to play in the game. 34 seconds to go. Houston by 1, they have the ball. John Lucas, the rookie out of Maryland, playing just a brilliant floor game. A free basketball, and Washington gets the ball as big Wesley Unseld. Mighty Joe Young gets both hands on it, and now Washington calls for a quick timeout as Dick Mata looks at the numbers. 90-89, the score, 28 seconds to go. So if Washington should come down and hit the shot, Pete, they'd have to do it within the allotted 24 seconds, and Houston would still get a chance.
Houston's definitely going to get the last shot in the game. I don't know if Naselke wanted that particular play right there.
28 seconds to go, 90-89, Houston. So Tom Naselke has his men around. How do you like all this television, Pete?
This is amazing. I'll be honest with you.
A lot of people talking here in this game.
Yes, more. I tell you what, it's easier to. I don't know if it's any easier to listen to the fans or listen to the people who are talking in your ear here.
We got some good people too. Our producer Bill Barnes, our director Bob Dunphy, And there's a big NBA game coming up next. Depending on what part of the country you're in, you'll see the Los Angeles Lakers, after taking a commanding 2-0 lead at the Forum in Inglewood, going up now north to Oakland, California to play Game 3 with Golden State. And now we have, as another game today, Denver at Portland. That series is even up after 2 games. 90-89 is the score, a 1-point lead for the Houston Rockets as we have 28 seconds left to play, but Washington will have the ball as we put it back into play. And of course, as soon as we're done here, we'll be going back to Boston Garden where Brent Musburger and Bill Cunningham are standing by. You'll see that game finish up down the stretch as the Celtics look like they're in position to take a 2-1 lead.
Houston does not want to commit a foul here, because if they commit a foul, they're going to give them an easy 2 points, whereas Washington has to get a good percentage shot to take the lead and then rely on their defense and the rebounding to win the basketball game.
And of course, if Boston holds on to win today, that series would be even at 2 victories apiece. Then they head back to the Spectrum in Philadelphia for Game 5. All right, we're coming down the stretch. 28 seconds to go. Chenier has the ball. They're standing here at the Capitol Center. Chenier driving. The game clock shows 21. Chenier is the game plan now as he drops off. Kupchak is rejected by Malone. There's a foul call on Moses Malone. He thought he got a clean reject, but the official on top of the play says no.
There's a replay. Chenier penetrates, throws over to Kupchak. He comes in for the stuff. Malone goes back up with him. He's very quick getting up. A good block, but I think he got him with his foot as he came in. And the foul was called. A very crucial call.
And so Mitch Kupchak, one of the key players in the U.S. Olympic team at Montreal that won the gold medal, goes to the free throw line. Iceman, nothing there at all as he hits his 22nd point of the game. He is the leading producer in the entire ball game, came in the second quarter. The game is tied, and now Washington takes a 1-point lead, 91-90 with 18 seconds left to play, and Houston calls a timeout. What do you do now, Pete? You come down and shoot it up so you have a chance for a follow-up shot, or do you play it right down for a final one?
No, I don't think any team will play it down to the final one. What they'll do is they'll try to get the ball in without committing a turnover, number one. And then what they'll try to do is go over a set play that they're going to run for 1 or 2 individuals, whoever is open on the particular options that they want. Usually either Tomjanovich or Malone down deep. They'll probably try to get it inside, and they will not waste any time. If somebody's got the open hoop, they're going to go ahead and take it.
A big show next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular. 114-105 is the count now at Boston with the Celtics in the lead. You'll see Nadia Comaneci, the great gold medalist from Romania, and Nelly Kim of the Soviet Union in the Chenier Cup gymnastics event. And also the Bluegrass Stakes from Keeneland Racetrack in Lexington, Kentucky, in addition to the World Frisbee Championships. That's next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular. This is Don Crickey with the pistol. Pete Maravich, the NBA's leading scorer this past season from the New Orleans Jazz, joining CBS for the playoffs. Pete, you got a good one here in your first game.
I tell you, this is playoff intensity right here, Don. It's a little different than the season. Everybody is enthusiastic. The fans are into it. Everybody's involved. And this game, like we said at the beginning of the contest, is going down to the wire. This is the best thing that you can ask for in a playoff game.
The young men are getting after it. They are getting after it here at Capitol Center. And now Tomjanovich inbounds the ball. We have 18 seconds left to play in the game, and Houston, in the red uniforms, is down by a point. 18 seconds to play. Inbounds to Newlin. Chenier, tight on him. Newlin losing him with the fake and the switch hand dribble. Newlin is fouled on the... No, they're calling him against Newlin. The foul call is on Newlin. They rule that Kupchak, who's done so very much for Washington.
There's the play right here. Newlin goes in. He penetrates. He leaves his feet here. He goes to the left. But Kupchak was there. It was a good call. He was there. His feet were stationary.
And it was a good call, as you see. Kupchak had position, and now the Rockets call a foul, which they had to do with 7 seconds left to play. 91-90, Washington in the lead. At Boston Garden, the Celtics continue to lead 114-107 over the Philadelphia 76ers. Chenier goes to the free throw line. He is a very, very effective free throw shooter. Throughout the regular season, he hit as well as most of the good ones in the league, 84%. He can put it away now with a 1-point advantage.
He can put it away. There's a great deal of pressure on him right now. And even if he makes one of them, Houston can still score and tie and go into overtime.
Well, he got one, and Mata wants him to call timeout before he takes the second. Got too much going here that we don't want to talk this thing over with just 7 seconds left to play. 7 is all that remains, and now Washington has a 2-point lead, 92-90. And so we have Dick Mata. Well, I guess all I can say to Phil Chenier is do what you've done all year long. If you hit 84%, you're going to win it for us.
Well, that's it. If Phil does make his next shot, Houston's got to call a quick timeout, get the ball out of half court, get the ball in, try either for a three-point play, or if they do score, there'll still be 2 or 3 seconds left. Call a quick timeout before they throw the ball in.
On the floor as we come down to the final handful of seconds. 7 seconds to go for Houston. Rudy Tomjanovich, Mike Newlin, Dwight Jones, John Lucas, and Moses Malone. Dick Mata still has his people around him at the Washington bench with 7 seconds to play. And again, we welcome back our Boston, Philadelphia viewers as we have 7 seconds left to play here at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. Phil Chenier at the free throw line. He just hit his first one. The penalty shot is coming up. And if he gets it, it would be a 3-point advantage for Washington. They in all probability would win the game. That's what it is. 3 points as John Lucas sprints down the court. He'll take it right to the basket. Does not go. Kupchak rebounds. And Washington will win game 3. Washington wins game 3, 93-90. Don Crickey with Pistol Pete Maravich, and that is the final number here at the Capitol Center. Now let's go back to Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham at Boston Garden.